Hi, it's KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and my guests today are from Red Cedar Chamber Music, upcoming series of concerts in mid-April, and with us, Carey Bostian and Miera Kim as on the regular. Nice to see you both.
Great to see you.
And special guest is Oliver Bostian. Oliver, welcome.
Hello. Nice to be here.
You can infer that Oliver's in the family business and is performing a series of concerts called Reunion Redux, although that was not the original plan, and we'll get to that. Carey, let's start with you and tell me just a little bit about this program.
So this is a program for string trio, violin, viola, and cello, and it's got a lot of variety on it. It's got some Bach, where we're featuring the viola as solo instrument, and a new piece by an Iowa City composer, Brian Lent, called Again and Again and Again, and also this great Latin American piece by Costa Rican composer Vinicio Meza, and that's got a waltz and a tango, and then two choro, a slow and a fast choro. So it's really a terrific program, a lot of variety. But we originally designed this for our friend Chung Jin to be the guest artist. He's the principal violist in the Philadelphia Orchestra.
And Miera, tell me what happened with that.
Well, so Chung Jin first came as a guest artist 3 years ago, and we had so much fun. We had this reunion, and we were going to do that again. Unfortunately, he had some major surgery at the end of last year, and so he's been advised not to travel. He lives on the East Coast. So
you need to find a sub.
We had to scramble.
And you searched high and low around the country.
Yep.
We found our second favorite violist
in major music countries all over the world, and ended up finding the perfect person in the bedroom down the hall.
Well, actually, we had already
actually condo down the street.
We had actually scheduled a couple of performances with Oliver for this entire concert program before Chung Jin arrived. And also, we're using this material for an educational residency. So we had planned to be working with him on this project. It's just that all of a sudden there were a lot more performances for him at a very busy time of the year. So, but it's really exciting.
So, Oliver, you are currently studying at the University of Iowa.
Yes, that's right.
And what year are you?
Well, I'm technically a fifth year.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I'll be finishing up at the end of the fall. So, it's actually interesting. We were talking about Again and Again and Again by Brian Lent, which is on this program. And I ride the bus to school, and I actually sometimes have Brian as my bus driver.
Well, we should talk about Brian, because he's an Iowa Cityan. He plays in your community orchestra.
He's an interesting guy, a fascinating guy with many talents.
So he's a city high school graduate, and Candace Weebner, who was the teacher there for a long time, encouraged him to. He got his undergraduate degree at the University of Iowa, studied composition, and Candy encouraged him to write a piece for the Iowa City Community String Orchestra, and we premiered that 2 years ago, and it was a brilliant piece. This guy, he's an astronomer. He's
an artist,
president of the Early Keyboard Society. He's a visual artist. He has got a harpsichord in his house, and he's a terrific violist and a great composer. So we decided to commission him for this piece again and again. He
delivered.
He delivered. It's it's really exciting. Brian is a very interesting man.
When you get on the bus, Oliver, does he ever ask you how much you've been practicing his piece?
Well, we it's usually pretty crowded in the morning, but sometimes we exchange a few words about it. But it is a really interesting and cool sort of acknowledgement of community that I'm getting on the bus and I'm seeing the composer that we're working with. I mean,
only in Iowa.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Well, if you're a Prairie student in the College Community District, Eddie Picard often drives your bus.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So there's a great tradition of musicians who are also associated with public transportation.
That's amazing.
So Oliver, you started very young with Prussel School, of
yes,
course,
that's right.
and have continued to, obviously studying music at the University of Iowa. And I made a joke at the top of the interview about going into the family business.
Yeah.
But obviously, no great surprise that they put a string instrument in your hand pretty much when you could walk. But along that line, when did you decide, and you played and might have continued to play just, for the opportunity to, participate with your mom and dad. But when along the line did you think, no, this is not just the family thing. This is just not what I do for them, or a family activity. This is mine. When did that happen?
Yeah, I would say that actually even they were never pushy with me. I would say if I were my own parent, I would be a little bit frustrated to see sort of the apathy of maybe some of the teenage years. Whatever that
Shocking.
is. But-
Even when your parents are professional musicians, it's hard to get him to practice.
Yep. I would say, and I actually, even just in the last 2 or 3 years, have really found my love for the craft. Before, I enjoyed it immensely, but I think I was more so doing it because it felt more right than anything else, rather than this is it. And now I do really feel that. And so, yeah, that's sort
It's
of...
maybe the string quartet residency program at the University of Iowa. It's all chamber run by Beth Oakes and a lot of collaboration with Hancher. That is an amazing program. It's just not... There's almost nothing like it anywhere else in the country. And Oliver has been heavily participating in it. I think it's made a huge
for
difference.
the last 4.5 years.
So that probably, I'm guessing that's a program that you get, gives you kind of a professional gigging musician level of experience while you're doing your studies. Is that?
I would say so. I think there's even more value in sort of seeing all the string quartets that are brought in.
Professional groups
yes,
that
okay.
tour
And
nationally.
some of them
sure.
are really, really
So
quite
it's kind of
notable.
kind of a mentorship.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
And
then
getting
opportunities
to
to perform
yes,
as well.
and play for them, work with them, and seeing sort of more different approaches to the musicianship and how you sort of can make the money and that kind of thing. So
What money? Oliver?
yeah, that is the question.
So you've gone through a bit of a transition in, I'm playing because, mom and dad put a viola in my hands, and then I enjoy it, working with my family. But then you talked about how you realized that, that this is, what you want to do. And that's a pretty big transition, because then, as I said, it kind of becomes your own. Carey and Miera, what has been the biggest challenge for the two of you in working with your son as he transitions from, the kid who you could tell, yes, practice, or yes, you're doing this concert, and now you have to kind of interact with him, like a guest artist. How's that working?
In the old days when we would play together, it was a lot of fun, and it was always kind of casual. And then the pandemic happened, and our guest artists were both teenage boys.
That's right, because you continued to perform and put your concerts out on YouTube. I watched many of them, and we talked several times. And it was just the four of you doing the full
Thing.
Red Cedar program.
And it was a stressful situation for everyone. And for us, it was a professional situation. And for them, it was just
Annoying.
And we paid them, of course, but it was just kind of annoying. And, it was the pandemic, so they weren't going to school. And, it was just, it was difficult. But after that, what we've done together as a family and with Oliver has been mixed and varied. There's been some real professional situations. There's been very casual situations. And I think that this time around, it's almost like just any other guest artist, except for
and I'll give my perspective on it too.
yeah.
Go ahead, Mary.
Okay, so both boys have since admitted, now that they're so mature, that even though there was a little resentment at the time of the pandemic, all the rehearsing and performing in live streams, that those were invaluable experiences, and they did
Enormously
inform them moving forward. And when they started doing their own chamber music that wasn't involved with their parents, they were like, oh, okay, I see. I've done some of this, had some experience. But I would say now, you're a pleasure to work with, Oliver. I think all the friction is... Where's the friction, Carey?
I mean, we love to play together. It's really fun, and of course there's stress, but there's pressure anyway. For us to produce.
Well, sure. If you aren't feeling a little bit of pressure, you don't care enough.
Yeah. But so we've got this, it's great stuff. And the Bach, the sonata, we do this wonderful sonata for viola da gamba and harpsichord obligato. So Miera plays the right hand of the harpsichord, and I play the left hand, and the viola part is the solo part. So he's, we're really accompanying him. He's got the lead on that, and that's something that Red Cedar does, turn these sonatas into chamber music and just really string chamber music. So that's a tremendous opportunity for a young violist. I mean, it's really great.
Reunion Redux is the current concert going on with Red Cedar Chamber, and as usual, a lot of outreach concerts headed into the final concerts, which are April 15th and 16th, correct? Did I
Yep,
get that
that's right.
Okay.
We're at the Opus Concert Café Wednesday, April 15th, 7:30 p.m., and the James Theater, April 16th, Thursday, in Iowa City.
At 7 p.m.
At 7 p.m. And we are all over the place between April 3rd, and then we're playing the Senior Center in Iowa City, the Marion Public Library, the Cedar Rapids Public Library.
You'll be in Monticello.
Solon.
The Peter and Paul Chapel, that wonderful
Beautiful chapel.
chapel in
Yeah.
Solon, Oak Knoll.
Yeah.
So depending on when you hear this, there may be a performance near you. So I would suggest that rather than us running down the full schedule of all of these, just go check the Red Cedar website and see when the outreach concerts are going to be, because we mentioned a few of these. You'll be at Methwick, you'll be at Summit, you'll be at the Cedar Rapids Library. I think I mentioned Oak Knoll, Marion, and a bunch of others. So if you're near any of those places, go to the website, which is
www.redcedar.org.
And again, if none of those work, I'd love to see you at the final concerts, one at Opus on the 15th and one the next night at the James in Iowa City on the 16th. And those are ticketed events. Most of the outreach are free. So if people want tickets, again, they can visit the website for either of those places, or I'm sure you have a link from
exactly.
yours.
It's on the Arts Iowa website as well as the Red Cedar website and the James. Yeah.
Again, redcedar.org if you'd like more information about any of these. As usual, lots of chances to see Reunion Redux with Red Cedar Chamber. This has been great. Oliver, great to see you in person. I don't think that I've seen you since we Zoomed way back when. So great to see you. Thanks for being a part of this. And Carey and Miera, well done. And looking forward to some good shows. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for
Dana.
having
Thank you.
us.
You can hear the Culture Crawl live on the radio most weekdays at 10:30, on demand at kcck.org/culture, or subscribe using your favorite podcast player. Watch our videos on the KCCK Facebook and YouTube channels. Our producer is Lydia Kilgore. The Culture Crawl theme is composed by Vivian Shanley. I'm Dennis Green, and I'll talk to you later.